So in this video, what I want to do is break down what are the best advertising channels to advertise your business on if your goal is to generate more leads, sales appointments, and clients. And the advertising platforms that you'll see on this list are based on my personal experience using these platforms for my own business and also with using these platforms for different clients as well. But before you start spending any money on paid advertising, it's very, very important that you have the right strategy, because it doesn't matter which advertising channel you use. If you do not have the right strategy, you're not going to see any results. So if you're wondering what is the best strategy to generate leads, appointments, and clients in your business in a way that is predictable, scalable, and profitable, then I highly recommend watching the video I recorded at salesappointmentsmasterclass.com. In that video, it will go through step by step exactly which strategy we use for our own business and for our clients to help them get leads and appointments predictably every single month, so that when you do start using any kind of paid advertising, you can make sure you give yourself the highest chance of success. So let's get started with the number one channel on this list, and this might surprise you. And the number one channel as of recording this video right now is TikTok ads. Now, I know what you're thinking, TikTok ads, really? Isn't that just for young people? What if I want to target older people? Or what if I want to target business owners or professionals in a certain industry? Or maybe what if I want to target wealthy individuals or people with, money to invest and things like that? Well, all of those people you can target on TikTok ads. And I've already used TikTok to target all of those people I just mentioned successfully. So you can target these people on TikTok, and it's not just for young people anymore. In fact, TikTok has millions of users all around the world who are over the ages of 35, 45, and 55, and you can specifically target these people. Actually, when speaking about targeting, TikTok ads works almost identically to Facebook ads. So if you can find your target audience on Facebook ads or on Instagram, chances are you can also find them using TikTok. But here's the key difference, and this is why TikTok is number one on this list. There are far fewer advertisers on TikTok right now. So what does this mean for you and your business? Well, it means you can target the same people that other businesses are targeting on Google and on Facebook and on Instagram, but you can target them on TikTok at a fraction of the cost. And in my test for about 80% of my clients, so 1 out of every 5 clients, we've found that they can get a 2 to 5 times better cost per lead, better cost per appointment, and better cost to acquire a new client when using TikTok ads compared to using another channel such as Facebook ads. And the reason again is because there are less advertisers on TikTok. So fewer advertisers means less competition, and less competition means you pay less to target the same group of people. But TikTok won't be like this forever. As more advertisers and businesses start catching on that you can get great results on TikTok at a much lower cost, more people will start advertising on TikTok, and then this is going to cause the cost to go higher in a similar way to what happened to Facebook ads if you were using Facebook a few years ago. It started off really cheap, and then as more people started to use the platform, the cost just started to gradually increase. Another big advantage of TikTok is that there are fewer restrictions when it comes to advertising on this platform. So if you've ever been banned in the past for using Facebook or had your ad account restricted, it's far less likely for that to happen when you're using TikTok. So a lot of people have actually moved from Facebook over to TikTok because of that reason alone, because sometimes you're following all the rules and you don't do anything wrong, and Facebook still restricts your advertising account. So with TikTok, you're much less likely to experience any of these problems. And one of the best things about TikTok ads is that their algorithm is incredibly powerful. So when you run an ad on TikTok looks at exactly how long they look at that ad for. They look at if they click on that ad, if they share the ad, if they go to the landing page, and if they convert. And they're gathering all this data so that they can show your ad to more similar types of people. It's very similar to what Facebook and Google and all the big advertising platforms do already, but TikTok does an exceptionally good job of doing this. And you'll probably know this yourself. If you use TikTok as a user, you'll probably notice how good the TikTok algorithm is in showing you videos that you're likely to watch to keep you on the platform for as long as possible. Now, there are a few downsides of using TikTok. The first downside is that you do need to record a video. At least as of recording this video right now, you need to record a video if you want to run ads on TikTok. So unlike Facebook or Google or other channels, you can't just run a text ad or an image ad or something like that. You need to have a video ad However, if you don't feel comfortable on video, what you can do instead is you can hire a video actor to do the recording for you. And this is actually something many of my clients have done. And if you're interested in what are the best video actors that you can hire on websites such as Fiverr, I'll include a link in the description of this video to an article that I've written that goes through some of the top rated freelancers that I've used when it comes to recording videos for TikTok. Another con of using TikTok is that the audience size still isn't as large as other channels such as Facebook and Google. So even though the audience and the amount of people using TikTok is growing every day, it's still not as big as other channels. Overall though, it still is a really good advertising channel for your business. And it doesn't matter if you're B2B or B2C, chances are you can find your target audience on TikTok. So I highly recommend checking it out. And as of recording this video, they're actually running a special promotion where you can get up to $1,500 in free TikTok advertising credit if you're new to TikTok and you haven't advertised on that platform before. So if you're interested in checking that out, I don't know when it will expire, but it will expire at some point. But if you're interested in checking it out and if it's still available at the time you're watching this video, I'll include a link in the description to this video. My second favorite paid advertising channel is Facebook and Instagram. So I put Facebook and Instagram together because they are all part of Meta. So when you advertise on Facebook, you can very easily advertise on Instagram at the click of a button. So they're pretty much the same platform. And one of the reasons I like advertising on Facebook and Instagram is because they have a huge audience. And especially if you're looking to target older demographics, usually Facebook actually has one of the largest older demographics out of any social media channel. And the fact that the audience is so big makes it a very scalable platform as well. Also, the advertising costs on Facebook and Instagram are not as high as other channels such as Google, and you can actually target people who are searching on Google using the Facebook and Instagram advertising platform. And a lot of people don't know this, but I have another video, I'll include a link in the description as well if you want to check it out, that explains how Facebook can target people who are searching on Google. But you can do this in a way where you don't have to pay the higher cost that you would normally pay if you're advertising on the Google search engine. So in most cases, Facebook ads usually is cheaper than advertising on other platforms such as Google, but it's still not as cheap as advertising on TikTok. Another big advantage of using Facebook ads is that you don't need to run video ads. So you can get really good results just with text and image ads on their own. Now, you still need to have the right advertising copy and you still need to target the right people and you still need to have all the right pieces in place before you advertise on Facebook. But once you have those pieces in place, it can work very well when targeting people using just simple text and image ads. And again, if you want to learn more about what strategy we use to do that, check out salesappointmentsmasterclass.com. Now, my third favorite advertising channel is YouTube. And YouTube is a really good channel to advertise on because similarly to TikTok, when you're creating video ads, it does something very unique in terms of building up trust with people. And sometimes there's something that you can only really get across in a video when it comes to building up trust. And that's one of the reasons I think YouTube works so well. Not only that, but on YouTube, when you're running ads on YouTube, you can actually target people based on their search intent as well. So if you want to target people who are searching for specific keywords in the YouTube search engine, you can do that. If you want to target people who are watching certain videos on YouTube or even watching a certain YouTube channel, you can do that as well. So what you could do theoretically on YouTube is you could go and look at your competitors or go and look at videos that your audience is likely to be watching, and then you can show ads on those specific videos. So you can get really granular with the targeting if you want it. However, in my tests, I've usually found that YouTube typically works better when you're fairly broad with the targeting and you just leave it up to the YouTube algorithm to figure out who is the best person for you to target. And you still do need to point them in the right direction, but a lot of the time the YouTube algorithm does a really good job of finding the right audience. Again, as long as you have the right strategy in place, it can usually do a good job of helping you get leads, appointments, and clients simply by leveraging the YouTube algorithm and just letting YouTube show your ads to the right people at the right time on the right videos. And again, the only major downside to using YouTube is that when you look at your cost per lead or your cost per appointment or cost to acquire a new client, at least in my experience, it's always been higher compared to Facebook and compared to TikTok. So that's why it's not always the cheapest channel. It is a good channel and it can work, but a lot of the time I found you can get cheaper results or you can get leads for less money when using some of the other platforms I mentioned on this list. My fourth favorite channel is LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn is a really good advertising channel for some specific niches. So it's not great for everyone or for every business, but if you're looking to target a very specific type of person who's maybe in a specific type of company or in a specific type of company size or industry or has a specific job title, LinkedIn is really good for those people, because sometimes it can be difficult to target those people when you start getting really specific on some of the other platforms I mentioned earlier. So Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and even Google, they all work really well when you're fairly broad with your targeting. So you can still have a niche, but the niche should be pretty broad in order for you to get the best results. But if you really want to niche down and target a very specific type of person, then LinkedIn is a really good channel to do that, because it actually has data on people's job titles and their industry and what kind of company they work at, and it has all of that information. The only downside to using LinkedIn is that it doesn't have any good age demographic information. So when you sign up for a LinkedIn account, LinkedIn doesn't ask you for your age. So that means LinkedIn doesn't really know how old you are. So they have to rely on third-party data or other data in order to match the users to the correct age, and it doesn't always work really well. But again, if you're looking to target specific people by job titles or something like that, it can be a really good channel for you to use. The only downside though with using LinkedIn is that it can be quite expensive when running ads on this platform. So it doesn't necessarily always mean it's a bad thing if it's expensive, if you can still be profitable when running the ads, but it is something to keep in mind that when you run ads on LinkedIn, just keep in mind that you probably won't get leads at a very low cost compared to what you could get on other platforms, which is why for myself and a lot of my clients, instead of using LinkedIn ads, we use LinkedIn automation software to generate leads on LinkedIn without needing to spend any money on paid advertising. And if you're interested in learning a little bit more about how that works, again, just go to salesappointmentsmasterclass.com. And if you look at step 4, you can learn a little bit more about the strategy that we use to get leads on LinkedIn without having to pay for ads. My fifth favorite channel is Google Ads, and this is running ads on the Google search engine. Now, this is a very, very, very powerful way to generate leads and generate new clients. It can work really well because you're targeting people who are actually searching for something right now. So these leads tend to convert a lot quicker compared to some of the other platforms. However, the only downside is, as you can expect, there's going to be a lot of advertising competition, because the space when it comes to advertising on the search engines for different keywords, it is limited. So that means there's a lot of competition if you want to show your ad at the top of the search results. So that means usually if you're a small company competing in a big company space, it can be difficult for you to get your ad at the top spot, because there are other companies that just have bigger budgets to spend when running ads on Google, and they can usually outbid you and make sure that they appear at the top instead of you and your website. Now, it's not like that for every keyword. So for some keywords, it might be better than others, and it just depends on what kind of industry you're in and how competitive it is. But overall, generally speaking, when you advertise on Google, the costs are usually much higher compared to some of the other platforms. That being said, if you can still pay those higher costs and still make it profitable, it can actually be very lucrative for you, because like I said, those leads can convert quite quickly compared to some of the other channels on this list. However, because of the higher costs associated with running ads on Google, personally, I don't really like using that channel. So instead of running ads on Google, I'd rather generate leads for free organically using SEO or search engine optimization. So in other words, I'd rather create content for my blog that answers different questions that people are searching for, and in that way those articles can appear at the top of Google without having to spend any money on paid advertising when advertising on Google. So I highly recommend looking into that as a potential good alternative to running Google ads if you do want to appear at the top of Google. Now again, it can be difficult for some industries. Again, it just depends who you're looking to target, but for others, and if you target maybe long tail keywords or maybe keywords which have less competition, it can still be a very lucrative channel. And if you do it the right way, you don't have to spend money every month on advertising to get to the top of Google. You can just get leads for free from people who are searching for keywords related to your services. And again, I explained in more detail how to do that in step 4 of my masterclass at Sales Appointments Masterclass. masterclass.com. And I'll include a link in the description of this video if you're interested in checking that out. And then my final, which is sort of like a bonus advertising channel that I like to use, is Adroll. And Adroll is really good when it comes to retargeting people that you have been advertising to on other channels. So what I really like about Adroll is that you can target people on thousands and thousands of different websites. So these are non-social media websites. So if you run ads on Facebook, you can only target people on platforms that Meta owns, such as Facebook and Instagram. Or if you run ads on TikTok, you just advertise on TikTok. Or if you run ads on Google, you're just advertising on Google or YouTube or platforms that they own. But with Adroll, you can target people on thousands of different websites, including websites like Yahoo, Forbes, MSN, and random websites like dictionary.com and all kinds of websites like that. I actually have a video where I go through a list of the thousands of websites that my website has appeared on by advertising in Adroll. So if you want to check out that video and learn a little bit more about using Adroll, I'll put a link to the video up on the screen right now so you can check that out. But anyway, these are my top paid advertising channels. And again, if you want to learn more about advertising on any of these channels that I've just mentioned, be sure to go to salesappointmentsmasterclass.com and check out the video that I recorded on that page. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.